Hello and welcome to the quarterfinal for Category 2 of the Sakshi Arena 1 School Fest Spell Bee, presented by Duke's Wafy in association with Trips International School. I'm your Bee Master Vikram. Before we start, I'd like to congratulate all of you for making it through to this stage of the competition. All the very best for this round. Let's now go through the basic rules. This is a written round with 40 words. You will be given the word as well as its meaning. I will pronounce each word thrice, so listen carefully to the word and its meaning before writing your answer. Now write your answer in capital letters so that it's easy for us to grade your papers. You can use either pen or pencil, it's fine either way. At the end of the round, we will run through the entire word list once. So if you haven't heard a word clearly, don't worry. Just wait for the recap at the end of the round. So are you ready? Great. Let's begin. Your first word is brawl. Brawl. It means a rough or noisy fight or quarrel. Brawl. Brawl. Let's now move on to the second word. Cafeteria. Cafeteria. A cafeteria is a restaurant in which customers serve themselves from a counter and pay before eating. Cafeteria. Let's move on to the third word now. Cauliflower. Cauliflower. A cauliflower is basically a cabbage of a variety which bears a large immature flower head of small creamy white flower buds. Cauliflower. Let's now move on to word number 4. Gladiator. Gladiator. It means in ancient Rome, a man trained to fight with weapons against other men or wild animals in an arena. Gladiator. So that was your fourth word. Gladiator. Let's now move on to the fifth word. Ideology. Ideology. Ideology means a system of ideas and ideals, especially one which forms the basis of economic or political theory and policy. Ideology. Let's now move on to word number 6. Prevail. Prevail. Prevail means prove more powerful or superior. Prevail. Let's now move on to the seventh word. Stationary. Stationary. So listen to the meaning carefully before writing your answer. Stationary means not moving or not intended to be moved. Stationary. Let's now move on to the eighth word. Adequate. Adequate. Adequate means satisfactory or acceptable in quality or quantity. Adequate. Moving on to your ninth word now. Ancestor. Ancestor. An ancestor is a person, typically one more remote than a grandparent, from whom one is descended. Ancestor. Your next word, the 10th word, is bison. Bison. A bison is a humpbacked, shaggy-haired wild ox native to North America and Europe. Bison. On to the 11th word now. Curfew. Curfew. Curfew is a regulation requiring people to remain indoors between specified hours, typically at night. Curfew. On to word number 12. Permissible. Permissible, meaning permitted or allowed. So that was your 12th word, permissible. On to word number 13 now. Scholar. Scholar. A scholar is a specialist in a particular branch of study, especially the humanities. Scholar. Let's move on to the 14th word now. Sequence. Sequence. A sequence is a set of related events, movements, or items that follow each other in a particular order. Sequence. So that was your 14th word, sequence. Let's move on to the 15th word now. Skeleton. Skeleton. A skeleton is the supporting framework, basic structure, or essential part of something. Skeleton. Moving on to word number 16. Subjective. Subjective. Subjective means based on or influenced by personal feelings, tastes, or opinions. Subjective. On to word number 17. Capsule. Capsule. A capsule is a small case or container, especially a round or cylindrical one. Capsule. Let's move on to the 18th word now. Virtue. Virtue. Virtue means behavior showing high moral standards. Virtue. On to word number 19. Futile. Futile. Futile means incapable of producing any useful result or pointless. So word number 19 was futile. On to word number 20. Orchard. Orchard. It means a piece of enclosed land planted with fruit trees. Orchard. So that brings us to the halfway stage of this quarterfinal. Let's take a quick break so that you have a moment to relax as well as go through your answers. See you in a minute. Category 2 of the Sakshi Spell Bee, presented by Duke's Wafy in association with Trips International School. This is the second half of this quarter-final, so let's get started. Word number 21. Prudent. Prudent. Prudent means acting with or showing care and thought for the future. Prudent. So your 21st word was prudent. Let's move on to word number 22. Raccoon. Raccoon. A raccoon is a greyish-brown American mammal which has a fox-like face with a black mask, a ringed tail, and the habit of washing its food in water. Raccoon. On to word number 23 now. Shawl. Shawl. A shawl is a piece of fabric worn by women over the shoulders or head, or even wrapped around a baby. Shawl. Let's now move on to word number 24. Listen carefully to the meaning before writing your answer. The word is trait. Trait, meaning a distinguishing quality or characteristic, typically one belonging to a person. Trait. Moving on to word number 25. Apathy. Apathy. Apathy means a lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. So that was your 25th word, apathy. Let's now move on to word number 26. Bandage. Bandage. It means bind a wound or part of the body with a protective strip of material. Bandage. Let's move on to word number 27. The word is blurt. Blurt. Blurt means say something suddenly and without careful consideration. Blurt. The next word, that is the 28th word, is interrupt. Interrupt. Interrupt means stop the continuous progress of an activity or process. Interrupt. Moving on to word number 29. Committee. Committee. A committee is a group of people appointed for a specific function by a larger group and typically consisting of members of that group. Committee. Let's now move on to word number 30. Emerald. Emerald. Emerald means a bright green precious stone consisting of a chromium-rich variety of beryl. Emerald. So that was your 30th word, emerald. Let's now move on to the 31st word. Adamant. Adamant. Adamant means refusing to be persuaded or to change one's mind. Adamant. That was word number 31. Your next word, that is word number 32, is cameo. Cameo. Cameo means a short, descriptive literary sketch which neatly encapsulates someone or something. Cameo. Moving on to the 33rd word. Filament. Filament. Filament means a slender thread-like object or fiber, especially one found in animal or plant structures. Filament. Moving on to word number 34 now. Hybrid. Hybrid. Hybrid means of mixed character or composed of different elements. Hybrid. Moving on to word number 35. Icicle. Icicle. Icicle is a hanging, tapering piece of ice formed by the freezing of dripping water. Icicle. On to word number 36. Nutmeg. Nutmeg. Nutmeg has two meanings. The first one is a type of spice. The second meaning is to play the ball through the legs of an opponent while playing football or soccer. So your 36th word is nutmeg. Let's now move on to the 37th word. Usher. Usher. Usher means to show or guide someone. Usher. Moving on to word number 38. Allegation. Allegation. An allegation is a claim or assertion that someone has done something illegal or wrong, typically one made without proof. The 38th word was allegation. Let's move on to the 39th word now. Hypnotic. Hypnotic. It means relating to or producing hypnosis. Hypnotic. Moving on to the 40th and last word of this round. Quirk. Quirk. Quirk means a peculiar aspect of a person's character or behavior. Quirk. So that brings us to the end of these 40 words. Let's now do a quick run through of the words so that you can check your answers or fill in any answers that you might not have heard clearly. Are you ready? Great. Let's start the run through. Word number 1. Brawl. Brawl. Word number 2. Cafeteria. 3. Cauliflower. 4. Gladiator. 5. Ideology. 6. Prevail. 7. Stationary. 8. Adequate. 9. Ancestor. 10. Bison. 11. Curfew. 12. Permissible. 13. Scholar. 14. Sequence. 15. Skeleton. 16. Subjective. 17. Capsule. 18. Virtue. 19. Futile. 20. Orchard. 21. Prudent. 22. Raccoon. 23. Shawl. 24. Trait. 25. Apathy. 26. Bandage. 27. Blurt. 28. Interrupt. 29. Committee. 30. Emerald. 31. Adamant. 32. Cameo. 33. Filament. 34. Hybrid. 35. Icicle. 36. Nutmeg. 37. Usher. 38. Allegation. 39. Hypnotic. And the last and final word, word number 40, quirk. So that brings us to the end of this quarterfinal for Category 2 of the Sakshi Spell Bee, presented by Duke's Wafy in association with Trips International School. I hope you did well, and I hope to see you in the semi-final round. All the very best and have a great day.